welcome all of you to Backpack. Well, again, we are going to talk about Egypt and about its beautiful sites. In Cairo, we have many important sites. Each one is a must-see site. Well, definitely the most important places that are usually on the top of the agenda of any holiday maker in Cairo is the Giza Pyramids Plateau. In addition, of course, to the Citadel of Egypt and of course the Egyptian Museum. The Egyptian Museum has a lot here. Well, many places here that you can enjoy because some of the places inside we cannot bring on camera. But definitely when you come here, you will enjoy visiting all the sites inside, like for example, many important places that we are going to bring you more information about it. So stay with us. We'll be back right after this and more about Egypt and more about the Egyptian Museum in Cairo.
The Egyptian Museum in Cairo displays the world's most extensive collection of pharaonic antiquities. No visit to Egypt is complete without a trip through its galleries. The original collection was established in the late 19th century. The objects were then moved in 1891 to the Palace of Ismail Pasha in Giza, before being transferred in 1902 to the current building at Tahrir Square, which is the first purpose-built museum edifice in the world. The museum boasts 107 halls that carry some artifacts dating from the prehistoric through the Roman periods, with the majority of the collection focused on the Pharaonic era. The museum houses approximately 160,000 objects, covering 1,000 years of Egypt's past. The ground floor takes the visitor on a chronological tour through the collections, while the objects on the upper floor are grouped according to tombs or categories. Exhibits here include the treasures of Tutankhamun, wooden models of daily lives, statues of divinities, and a rare group of Fayum portraits. The Egyptian Museum of Antiquities is considered to be one of the oldest, most famous, and largest museums in the world. It has a long history that dates back to the year 1825, when Muhammad Ali Pasha, the ruler of Egypt at the time, issued a decree to establish a museum for the antiquities of Egypt, and the first location of the museum was in front of the Azbakiyya Lake, between the squares of the Opera and the Hataba today. Actually, it is located in a strategic location in Tahrir Square. In front of the main entrance of the Egyptian Museum, there is also a small artificial lake that has some of the lotus and papyrus plants, the most important plants for the ancient Egyptians. So many exhibits. The guests would take days and days to view everything in the Egyptian Museum. The museum consists of two floors. The ground floor that hosts the heavier displays like coffins, huge statues and strong carvings. And the displays of this floor were organized according to the historical periods, which are the Old Kingdom, the Intermediate Period, the New Kingdom, the Late Period, the Greco-Roman period, and the Antiquities of Nubia. The floor of the Egyptian Museum hosts the lighter displays that include gadgets and tools, funerary objects, smaller statues, papyrus, wooden coffins, jewelry, and the most important part, the displays of the Tutankhamun tomb. As for the Narmer plate, it is among the most important displays that the guests of the Egyptian Museum should view during the visit. The Narmer plate is a large plate made out of stone, and it is the only remaining evidence that King Narmer or Menes was able to unify the two regions of Egypt, Upper and Lower Egypt, in one unified kingdom, beginning the dynastic era of the Egyptian history. The name of the King Menes is inscribed at the two sides of the plate. The king is portrayed on one side of the plate wearing the long white crown, and he is about to beat a war prisoner with his hands. On the other side of the plate, the king is portrayed wearing two crowns and walking with his followers to supervise the process of prosecuting the war prisoners. kingdom or the pyramids builders is a section of the ancient Egyptian history. The most important achievements of this period is the pyramids of Giza, the step pyramid of Saqqara, pyramids of Dahshur, and pyramids of Abu Sir. The first capital of a unified Egypt was founded by King Menes in the 32nd century BC, and it was called Memphis, located nowadays to the south of Giza. The most important Egyptian kings that ruled over the country from Memphis are King Menes or Narmer, of course, King Zoser, Sneferu, Cheops, and Khephren. There is a wonderful statue for King Khephren, made out of alabaster and is displayed in the second hall of the ground floor of the museum. There are also four heads of some of the relatives of the king, and they are made out of limestone. And moving forward in the Egyptian museum, there are some attractive smaller statues of servants carrying out their everyday duties and responsibilities.
Well, let me tell you something that is really important. Well, when you visit the Egyptian Museum, it is not enough to come here just once, because we have many different dates, many different kinds of places or monuments, in addition, of course, to the several ages that it reflects. Well, let me tell you that the most important part, that when you come here, you learn a lot, and definitely when you think about spending the vacation elsewhere in Egypt, moving outside Cairo is going to be much easier, because you will have the basic information. Inside here we have many sections. Each section reflects an age or an era. We're trying to bring you actually more about these places or these sections to about ancient culture and civilization. And let me tell you something, that this is one of the most important sites in Cairo to visit.
Statues were found in some of the tombs of the nobles, who included these servants with them in their burial chambers to serve them in the afterlife as they have served them during their lives. moving on to explore more on the ground floor. Here there are a large collection of coffins that were made from different types of rocks and stones with its notable decorations and carvings. There is also the walls of the funerary chamber that was reconstructed after being brought from one of the tombs of Saqqara. This piece is the best example of the magnificent art of the 6th dynasty of the Old Kingdom. On the walls of the chamber, there is a list of items showing what the deceased might need in the afterlife. The Old Kingdom is considered to be among the most powerful periods of the ancient Egyptians. The Egyptian Museum of Antiquities hosts 10 notable statues that date back to the Middle Kingdom. The 10 statues portray the King Snesert I, a king that belongs to the 12th dynasty, and they are all made out of limestone. There are also 3 other statues of Senusert portrayed as the god Osiris, as they were found in an area that is very close to El Fayoum. The Middle Kingdom period started in Egypt with the fall of the Old Kingdom, and it was, according to historical records and researchers, a relatively negative period of the ancient Egyptian history. However, with the beginning of the rule of the 12th dynasty, the living conditions of the Egyptians were improved, and the arts and industries have greatly flourished. Another transition took place in Egypt, once again with the nobles fighting among each others, and the living conditions getting worse once more. All these facts paved the way for the Hyksos to invade the country. When the 17th dynasty came to rule over Egypt from Thebes, they started to fight these foreign invaders until King Ahmose was able to defeat them and expel them out of Egypt. He founded the 18th dynasty, which is the first dynasty of the new Kingdom of Egypt. The displays of the new kingdom. It's the 18th dynasty, which is the first dynasty of the new kingdom. It is considered among the greatest dynasties that ruled over Egypt, and the most important rulers of that period are Queen Hatshepsut, King Amenhotep, Akhenaten, and King Tutankhamun. There are so many displays in the Egyptian Museum that date back to the new kingdom, like for example goddess Hathor and the god Amun, and those are the most famous gods of ancient Egypt. The displays of the new kingdom also include a large collection of mummification tools, chairs, wooden objects, crowns, and a large collection of statues of gods, kings, and queens that date back to many different periods of the New Kingdom. There are a number of remarkable statues of Queen Hatshepsut, with some of them portraying her in the shape of the Sphinx, while others show her in the disguise of a man. There are some notable statues also of King Thutmose III, the successor of Hatshepsut, who is one of the most skillful military leaders of ancient Egypt, to the extent that he was called the Napoleon of Egypt. So just as we mentioned, here we have two main floors, the ground and the first floor. On the ground, there is extensive collection of papyrus and coins that were used in ancient world, and the numerous pieces of papyrus are generally small fragments due to their decay over the past 2 millennia. Several languages are found on these pieces, including Greek, Latin, Arabic, and ancient Egyptian. The coins found on this floor are made of many different metals, including gold, silver, and bronze. The coins are not only Egyptian, but also Greek, Roman, and Islamic. In addition, of course, to many artifacts from the New Kingdom, the time period between 1550 and 1069 BC.